The road to the Longines Kentucky Oaks continues at the fairgrounds on Saturday with the running of the Silver Bullet Day presented by Facing Tipton. Newly turned 3-year-old fillies going 1 mile and 70 yards. Joe Kristufek joined by James Scully. And James, a lot of really good fillies have come through New Orleans the past several years, including last year's Kentucky Oaks winner, Pretty Mischievous.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, for the last couple of decades, Joe, it's produced the fairgrounds route has produced a lot of it's produced not only winners, but lots of top contenders for the Kentucky Oaks. And, we saw a really nice filly win the Untapable Stakes in late December. And we've got a solid group of 8 entered for the Silver Bullet Day on Saturday.
Yeah, Alpine Princess is going to pass on the Silver Bullet Day, but her stablemate who ran second behind her is going to run, and that's going to be West Omaha for Gary and Mary West. Louise Saez in to ride, and I thought she ran a really good race in the Untapable, James. She didn't have the cleanest of trips, broke a little bit slowly. She was in the catbird seat. Then she was kind of in tight between horses on the far turn. She was getting the Alpine Princess late, but Alpine Princess was able to go gate to wire that particular day. No Alpine Princess in this race, which makes West Omaha the horse to beat.
Yeah, that's for sure. And she was a really sharp maiden winner. Her start before the Untapable last time, she actually led all the way, going 7 furlongs at Churchill Downs, established herself as a real promising prospect entering this season. And last time, like you said, I was a little surprised to see her as far back as she was. Didn't have the cleanest journey in the opening furlongs. But she made a nice run at her, got, basically in mid-stretch, she was gaining ground like you referenced. And while she wasn't a serious threat, I thought it was a very respectable runner-up effort.
Sistina Chapel, who's a distant third in that race with a really good trip. She is back for more in the Silver Bullet Day as well. But several fresh faces, including the horse drawn on the rail for Steve Asmus and Perfect Shot. Took her 3 tries to break her maiden, but she did so in her first 2-turn try last out and looked pretty good doing it.
I really thought she did, Joe, and I thought she was flattered that the runner-up came back, a filly from Michael McCarthy, and broke her maiden by open lance at Turfway Park. You referenced it. It took her a couple starts in her very first race. She's a gun runner filly, Perfect Shot is, and she just didn't break sharply, sort of raced evenly around the track for 4th. But then she ran a better second on a sloppy track in her second outing. And I thought last out in late November at Churchill Downs, she was very impressive, showed a nice turn of foot to open up in the stretch on her rivals, and got a really respectable 88 Brisnet speed rating, compared to her main rivals in the Silver Bullet Day Stakes. So she's a filly that I think will continue to move forward, and she's going to be my top pick in the Silver Bullet Day. Who's your top pick, Joe?
Well, James, I think West Omaha is going to be a little bit too tough to beat in this race, but I'm very curious about the Invader, the Oklahoma-bred Miss Code West, who's a perfect 4 for 4. She defeated Restricted Company in her first 3 tries, but beat open rivals in her last start. How do you go about researching a horse like this and evaluating a horse like this?
I give her a shot on the front end, and I'll tell you, her first races, she was a little bit, at least in 2 of them, she employed a stalking tactics, but I thought she showed good speed early to take control in that trapeze, and that was an impressive performance over that muddy track at Remington Park. Otto the Conqueror, who was a really nice allowance winner at Churchill Downs, won the male counterpart, the Springboard Mile, and he ran his final time was 139.91. Miss Code West ran nearly 4/5 of a second faster, 139.13. She won convincingly. I loved how she finished under the wire that day, full of run. And if she gets the right trip with Floyd Wethy coming into rider, her regular rider, she's got a shot on the front end. She's a filly that I wouldn't mind including in some multi-race wagers, Joe.
All right, the race goes through West Coast, but James is going to go to Perfect Shot, also giving a chance to the undefeated Miss Code West. Anybody else you quickly want to mention here, James?
Well, we'll see about Sistine Chapel. I don't know if she's necessarily got the form right now to challenge, but she's a progressing type in my eyes. I'd like to see her hit the board at least for Kenny McPeak.
Huge card at Fairgrounds on Saturday. In addition to the Silver Bullet Day, the Grade 3 Lecomte points on the road to Kentucky Derby 150, and great promotions as always at TwinSpires, including the 15% profit boost on all the races on Saturday at Fairgrounds, up to $25, but it includes a lot of different wagers. Make sure you check it out and opt in at TwinSpires.com and the very trusty TwinSpires app. For James Scully,